What is going on, YouTube? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here for a non-impromptu live stream. I actually gave a little notice on this one. So, yeah, normal thing. Hang out, chat for a while. Nothing planned for future people watching this. We go wherever chat takes us. Couple things just to kind of get started here. If the stream's a little weird, I have a new camera hooked up that I am trialing out today. So we will see how this goes. I see I'm already getting a battery warning light on it. Let me make this a little bigger. There we go. So, yeah, new camera. Got a new Sony camera. There's actually a video will be dropping on it tomorrow. It's pretty nice. Sony ZV-1. But yeah, video dropping about it tomorrow. Little channel update video tomorrow morning. Kind of just talking about what's what. But the fancy thing about this one is it has super fast autofocus on it. So as soon as you hold something up to it, the autofocus snaps to it immediately. And you'll see as soon as I pull this away, how quickly it snaps back to focusing in on the stuff in the back. So you can see how quick it picks up the card in the front. And then as soon as you drop it back, real exciting stuff here around the Neo compound. But anyone that's ever watched anything on YouTube sees people fight with it getting the autofocus onto stuff. And this camera has a specific mode to work around that. So that is me reinvesting the money that I make from the various things on the channel to upgrade things around here. And of course, as I talk about it, the camera shuts off. Nice. So we'll put that into reserve if we need it. We shall see. All right, let's see what chat is hopping about today. The little channel emoji things are up and running for those that have not seen it for the channel members. A little Eye of Sauron and a little rated rookie chat emoji. Just a fun little thing there. So let's pick up in chat and see where the questions and chat takes us on this. It is a beautiful Wednesday. It is gorgeous outside today. So anything's on the table. Sports cards, non-sports cards, comics. And let's rock and roll and see how quickly I fall behind on chat messages. Yes, there are some definitely crazy ads on some of the live streams. I've seen that before from people. The weird thing is, this is the only thing I don't like about lives. So after you finish them, it does not let you. So after you end a live, it does not let you do anything with ad placement. And then it auto places them when the video processes and just magically uploads to YouTube. Sometimes that takes 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes 10 hours. And they auto place ads to start with. And they inject them. Like they'll put 25 ads on a live stream video because anytime there's a pause in audio, they use that as an ad insertion point. So on live streams, I'm looking at chat and reading questions, and it thinks that's a good spot to throw an ad in. So until I go in and edit them out, usually the next morning, I could go in and manually take them out, but it's a whole pain in the butt. I don't know of a better way to do it, but I just might be bad at YouTube. That legitimately could just be a thing. Should we still be buying football? What do you think about buying Don Russ? Yeah, football is still perfectly fine to buy as long as you can find the right deals. And I just bought 5 Lamar Jackson PSA 10 Don Russes on StarStock. So yeah, I feel fine about A, buying football, and B, buying Don Russ. It's perfectly fine. You're not going to see the super high highs that you're going to see on a Prism or a Select or whatever, but that's fine. I mean, money's money. Profit is profit. Global sports card investor. What is up, Australia people? Tyreek Hill Silver Prism PSA 10 50% off playoff highs. Good deal, right? Seems to be without looking and doing digging. I've been trying to stay as much towards quarterbacks as possible at the moment. It's just a simple math equation of I have X number dollars available, and I'm going to spend it on the more sure things, if you will. And one of those is quarterbacks. You know, in the football market, quarterbacks kind of dictate everything. So that's what I'm going to put my money towards. But you could definitely make some nice plays on position players. They will get trendy. I've thought about looking into some wide receivers and stuff myself, but I haven't pulled the trigger on anybody. Football is already going up, and it's going to continue to creep up. Good afternoon. I am depressed about Tatis Jr. As we all should be. The Tatis Jr. injury is sad. I'm actually, I mentioned this in the video that I did. I'm actually more concerned about him just not having surgery and being out for the season. I feel like him trying to play through it, A, adds the risk of re-injury, and B, if he plays through it, is he going to be hampered from it because he's trying to play through it? You know, do you have this thing where his numbers are going to be impacted greatly and he's going to have a down season and then like opt for surgery in the off season? I'm not sure, but that does. I'm actually, like I said, I'm more concerned about him just not having the surgery and being done with it. But I'm not a doctor. Maybe he comes back and he's perfectly fine. But it's an interesting time to be. I don't know what the right buy point is on him. It just depends on your risk tolerance, I think. Select football does look pretty good this year. I watched Pac-Man Cards rip a box today on YouTube. It looks really, really nice. Really, really nice. That cam lasted about as long as Tatis's season. Yeah, I guess I didn't have the battery fully charged. I have it plugged in the USB, so it's supposed to draw power from that apparently, but clearly I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. So what do you think about, hold on, went out of order there for a second. Good joke though, Anthony, for sure. Have you heard value bulk pricing won't be coming back when PSA comes back online? If so, what do you think that will do to the PSA slab market? I mean, a lot of people are saying that. I don't know that anyone actually knows. I don't even think PSA probably knows at this point. I have a feeling it will come back, but it's not going to be $20-25 a card anymore. I'm going to say it's at least $30 minimum to maybe $40 will be your cheapest option to grade with PSA. What do I think it does to the slab market? It could lower pop counts on less expensive cards. Someone made mention of this. I don't remember who it was, but like these grading companies right now have basically killed grading like Topps 2021 base. You know, in the past, you would send all those rookies value to PSA or wherever and get them back a year from now. And that was fine because it's baseball. It's a lot slower. But now, like, where do you send if you go rip Topps 21 paper, like Bo Bichette's from last year that sell for like about $100 right now in a PSA 10? Like, where are you sending? I don't know the baseball rookie class that well this year, but like, where does that stuff go? Like, has the grading changes just completely killed like Topps base paper until someone like really catches fire? And then is it going to like self pop control, if you will? Because the ones that do get sent, there's not going to be many. And I'm very curious to see, you know, come the start of next NBA season, like what does LaMelo PSA 10 Prism pop count look like because of, you know, the shutdown and everything that's going on? You know, what does an Anthony Edwards pop count look like? I'm very curious about that stuff, just to see where that kind of all ends up. What it does to the pricing, I really don't think anyone knows. What do you think about Darnold? Buy or sell? You should have sold already, in my opinion. Like, you should have sold last night. I don't know how this price will not last on him. It's going to come back down. If you have Darnold, I would be selling as fast as possible right now. SGC grading is no joke. That means they are undervalued to me. Sure. Yeah. SGC, really tough graders. Nobody cares about that. I shouldn't say nobody. 5% of the hobby cares that SGC are tough graders. and that they give the most accurate grade. Most people don't buy the card, they buy the slab. Plenty of people don't agree with that, but the market is the market. And maybe ultra long-term SGC performs better in value, but with their recent price increases and stuff, they've just re-pissed everybody off, including some really big SGC loyalists. So I'm not bullish on SGC slabs in the long run. I think CSG, I think NHGA probably passed them relatively quickly, to be honest with you. It also makes me nervous, the fact that PSA closed for like a day and a half and SGC already realized they were going to be backlogged and had to raise prices. Like, you guys spent a year about, trying to get caught back up again, and like it took 36 hours to like wreck your world. So update on comics and Marvel cards. I'm going to do some videos next week on that. I think I was planning to do some earlier, but then, all the grading stuff happened and the world went crazy in the sports card world. The PSA 10 market, our Marvel universe and stuff like that, is still going very strong. Maybe that'll be a Friday video, actually. And then the comic book market as well. We're starting to see some pullbacks on some stuff, which is natural. Like New Mutants 98 spiked up to $3,000. It's down to like 2,600 and seems to have leveled out there. So like, if you missed the initial window, this is probably your time to get back in. Stuff like Amazing Spider-Man 252 has kind of re-leveled back off again. Ultimate Fallout 4 seems to have leveled off at around 3K. I got that second printing just recently. I haven't done like a formal mail day on that, but I've talked about it on stream a couple times. So in general, the stuff that has spiked up, we are seeing like what we see in the sports card market all the time. Prices spike way up, then there's like a little 20 to 30% pullback, and then they re-level out again. We're seeing the same thing happen over there, and then other stuff is now rising up. Like stuff that has not gone up already, like a lot of the Spider-Man stuff, is now shooting up. I talked about Edge of the Spider-Verse #2 for a hot minute. That was going for around $1,000, 1,100. That shot up to 1,700, 1,800. It's kind of sitting right there. So kind of the same stuff that the sports card market does is mirroring it. Hope you're well and safe, man. As of right now, we sure are. What are your thoughts on Topps becoming a publicly traded company? I posted a video about that this morning. I don't know that it changes much anything right now. So I really don't. In the future, maybe. We'll see. Best new release comic to pick up right now. I honestly do not follow the modern comic book market that close from a collectability standpoint, or an investing standpoint, I should say. I follow it because I read the stuff. Like, I have a subscription to Marvel Unlimited, and, I read. I'm not up to X of Swords yet, but I'm currently getting caught up on the latest X-Men run and all the books. And I stay current on like Spider-Gwen and stuff like that. But from an investing standpoint, I'm trying to stay like pre-Miles Morales Spider-Gwen first appearances for the most part. So there's plenty of stuff to buy in that range. So I'm not super up on the modern comic game. I don't like chasing all the random variant covers from an investment standpoint, because it feels more like manufactured scarcity rather than like actual scarcity. So, but some of the alternate covers and stuff look great. That Gleason Spider-Man cover is gorgeous. I wouldn't mind having one, but I don't think it's investment level, if that makes any sense. What do you do with job-based Prism PSA 10? Don't need to sell, but will it ever get back to 700 plus? If you don't need to sell, I would either hold it and see if it spikes back up if they make the playoffs. If not, just wait and hold it until the start of next NBA season. I don't know that it gets back to 700, but I can tell you right now, it'll be higher come October, November than it is right now. That's just the natural flow of things. If anything, if you didn't have job-based stuff, this is probably the time to buy, to be quite honest with you. We'll see what happens. If they could sneak into the play-in game and then do something, that would be great. That team just could not get healthy. I've got 350 in eBay bucks. Who should I be buying from MLB, NBA, or NFL? I've said this a lot, and people might say that I'm biased, but I think my favorite undervalued player right now, and you could look at any one of a number of different cards, Optic, Prism, Select, whatever. I just think Baker Mayfield's stuff's way too cheap when you compare his prices to the other quarterbacks. He just looks like a steal compared to where Lamar sells for, Josh Allen sells for, Kyler Murray, Herbert, etc. The Browns are legit going to be good next year. And at some point in time, he's going to get pumped in the summer. And I think you'll be able to sell it for a decent profit come fall or late summer, if you will. I've bought quite a bit of his stuff on Star Stock. A decent portion of my Star Stock football portfolio is Baker Mayfield. A lot of PSA 9s. And I bought a little high. They've actually come down slightly since I bought. What advice would you give to someone considering starting their own card YouTube channel? Good question, Professor Cope. I'm going to do a long form video on this at some point, maybe for next week. A little behind the scenes type thing of how I make the videos, etc. Figure out what aspect do you want to cover. There's lots of different ways you could go in the card stuff. Do you want to open product? Do you want to do newsy stuff? Do you want to vlog, like go record at shows? Like I don't want to say like, kind of like in a Sasha T style, where you go record at shows, show yourself making deals, stuff like that. Do you want to do market analysis, kind of like I do, with a little bit of other stuff mixed in? So knowing that you want to do card content's cool, but then I think you need to narrow your niche down to another level. My biggest piece of advice is I would not do card product opening as your primary pursuit. There are a lot of people out there that do that, and they're going to do it better than you. And it's just a tough market to break into because there's so much of that on YouTube already. And the other downside to it is it gets extremely expensive. That's how I actually started the channel. If you go look at my first couple videos, it's me opening Mosaic product. They're still up. So you could kind of go back and scroll through the videos that I've made, and you could very quickly see the evolution from where I go to ripping retail wax into covering other aspects of the market. So that's what I would recommend, is narrow down on a niche inside the niche, if that makes sense. And I would stay away from ripping wax just because it's expensive. Also, get a good microphone. If you're going to put any money at all into it, don't cheap out on your microphone. It makes a huge difference. What does the sales volume of raw base Prism 21 look like right now? Are people selling or stashing? Let's look real quick. This is going to make me fall behind on chat, but that is okay. Prism basketball 21. Might not be in market movers yet. Nope, it is. Sort by number of sales. So in the last 7 days, 194 LaMelo balls have sold. And that's basically been, I'll go back 14 days, but I feel, yeah. If I go back 14 days, 198. So pretty good, I guess. I don't know, because I don't know what to base it off of, if that makes sense. I guess I could take the year filter off and we'll see what this does. So over the last 2 weeks, LaMelo Ball base is the second selling card in terms of number of sales behind Zion Williamson base PSA 10 Prism, at least in cards in market movers, which is most of the popular ones. So it seems to be selling pretty well. It's down to 258, which is still way too expensive. This price movement by cards chart, I use this in the Sunday morning video a lot. This is by far one of the most useful tools in market movers. I use this screen right here more than anything else by far. It's not even close. Thoughts on the price of Bitcoin and the collectibles market? If it crashes, do you think collectibles will crash? I would love to give you hot takes on Bitcoin, but it is so far from my area of expertise. It's ridiculous. But if Bitcoin would crash, it would affect a lot of stuff because a lot of people are invested heavily into it. McCaffrey is coming off an injury. He is the play as far as position players go. That's not a bad one if you're going to throw money in the position players. Maybe a break in football prices in May after the draft. I don't think so. I think football is just a nice... Oh, what's up, Personal Finance Dad? Didn't even realize that was your question. I personally think football is going to be a slow and steady climb with some spikes as news happens. So someone gets traded, someone gets signed, some draft day deal gets swung. It'll cause a price spike. Someone signs an extension, whatever. But other than that, I just don't see it dipping very much. I think it's going to be like it either stays flat or it's these little 2, 3, 4, 5% gains week after week. And then 4th of July is going to roll around and, you know, the ISR on's going to turn its eye and be like, oh, football's starting. I should go buy some of that. And then it should take off there. We'll see if it follows the same pattern as last year. I don't expect it to go up as crazy as last year did because that was in the sports card market craze. But I just have to think it spikes at some point in time. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I will be losing money with all the rest of you guys because I've been buying a ton of football specifically on Star Stock. If Baker Mayfield is undervalued, in your opinion, does that mean you buy and hold until he has a solid game in the season or still sell prior to the season starting? I will now let me replace Baker with player X because I'm going to hold some Baker stuff regardless because, I mean, I am Northeast Ohio Sports Cards. I have to stay on brand a little bit. But player X is undervalued? No, because I think he's undervalued from the standpoint of at some point in time before the season starts, someone is going to catch on to this and start buying him and cause the price to spike. In my opinion, I want to hold next to no football into season. That is just me. I could be completely wrong on this, but there is way too much injury risk. The only player I want to remotely consider holding beyond the start of an NFL season is Patrick Mahomes. That's it. End of the list. You know, basketball, I have a list of players. Football, I don't. It's Patrick. It starts and ends with Patrick Mahomes. And like, I mean, if you're including like Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson and stuff like that, like super established guys, sure. But I'm talking more like 17, 18 draft class and newer. The guys that haven't won Super Bowls yet. Let's leave it at that as a line of demarcation. Lamar Jackson, Prism, red, white, and blue are going for less than the base. Is this normal or fine? Red, white, and blue never get respect regardless of sport. If you look at basketball, it's the same. Red, white, and blues sell for very close to, if not less than base. They just do not get love, even though it's a lower pop count. That's where population count doesn't necessarily always matter. How the card is respected by the market matters more than population count. And the red, white, and blues just have never gotten love. It's not a bad buy. It'll go up if the PSA 10 Prism goes up, then that's going to go up too. How long should I wait before buying 2020 select football for prices to settle? Looking at Tua and Herbert. Dave, I would almost say to wait to into season. I would let it play out. Let the prices fall. Let them do what they're going to do. They're probably going to dip a little bit, then maybe run back up again right before the season starts, and then let the season start. Odds are Herbert and Tua could play well. They're not going to live up to expectations, and their prices are going to come down. You know, look at the video that I did a week ago about when to buy and when to sell. Almost all of football dipped around week 10 or 11 for everybody. And then it was a matter of someone went into the playoffs or not. I'm going to bank on that data. If the data ends up being wrong because this year ends up being different, then it is what it is. But if I'm looking to buy like current rookies like Herbert and Tua, I'm going to wait till in the season because what's going to happen around week 10? You know, we're going to have new football product coming out and no one's going to give a shit about who Justin Herbert is because they're all going to be chasing Trevor Lawrence. and, maybe the Chargers or whatever, their record kind of sucks. They don't look like a playoff team. His prices are going to fall unless he's just like MVP level like Josh Allen was last year. And if that's the case, then you miss the window. You move on to the next guy. But I'm willing to bet that's not the case. So that's my theory on it. I really want to get into the wrestling card market. My old man traded me with the Hart Foundation in Canada back in the oh man, the Hart Foundation. I don't know much about wrestling cards. I mean, I know that the things that they're hot right now, and I love old school WWF, but man, is $330-ish a good price for Josh Allen, Don Ross? You'd have to just check recent comps and see what it's doing. 95 Marvel Metal cards are exploding. They are doing quite well. I did notice a bunch of PSA 10 cells close really nicely on Marvel Metal. Anthony Edwards Blue Shimmer. God damn, nice. So I'm not sure what the play is. Sell holder in October. Is that, assuming that's Blue Shimmer PSA and it's in good shape, I would PSA Super Express that thing. Pay the $300 and Super Express it as long as you think it has a good shot at a 10. Because even in a 9, I think you'll make money on it. But I think it's worth the risk to send it for a 10. Sending some of mine to Beckett tomorrow. Metal are really tough grades. SGCPR dumpster fire. I agree, Matthew. Cherry picking cards. Is it normal for practically every single card from 19 NBA sets to have those print lines all over the back? Yes. Those aren't print lines. They're roller marks from the cards coming off the machines. Unless they're super bad, they're generally ignored. Whoop. And I lost. Okay, there we go. I hit the scroll wheel. When I hit the scroll wheel, I lose my spot of where I left off in chat. Would you ever make a video of some of your biggest star stock flips and how you do it? Love the channel, by the way. I mean, I can. It's just star stock stuff happens so fast sometimes. And I've talked about a lot of them on the channel. I mean, sometimes I'm literally buying it before a game, like the bull stuff. I was buying like at the beginning of the game and selling out of it by the end of the game. The most recent one of the quote unquote quick flip stuff or quicker flip stuff was the Kevin Porter Jr. play. I mean, that's just one of those ones that you just have to have a little bit of foresight on it. Okay, he gets traded to the Rockets. He's in the G League. He's not really with the team. His prices spike a little bit because he moved. Okay, fine. You look at the Rockets team, they suck, and they were probably going to trade off half the roster. You know, Victor Oladipo was definitely going to be gone, and John Wall was probably going to be hurt. So you immediately paint the picture of there's going to be a ton of playing time in Houston if he gets called up, and it's just probably a matter of when. He had his first big game in the G League, and his prices started creeping up, and I just went on Star Stock and I bought every PSA 10 that was available on the market and bought a bunch of A's and B's. And then I sat on them for like 2 weeks because I knew what was going to happen. The hobby loves KPJ, not the whole hobby, but a large segment of the hobby loves KPJ. He gets called up, he balls out, and literally that day I just started selling them as fast as I possibly could. And I listed them in increments. So I kind of controlled the market on his PSA 10 Prism. I put it at I bought them for 100 a piece. I put one at 125, one at 135, one at 155, one at 165, one at 175 or whatever. And by the end of his second game, they had all sold. So in those cases, it's just about having the vision of knowing what the narrative is going to be, I guess. And then right now what I'm doing is basically just buying as much football as I can in the hopes that me just sitting on it for 3 or 4 months is just going to naturally grow itself without really doing much work with it. So there's just a lot of ways you could do it. Star Stock's not some unique beast. Just whatever you do in the normal card market, apply to Star Stock and you don't have to worry about eBay returns. That's the, same thing. When Tatis signed his rip Fernando Tatis, when he signed his contract, I was sitting at the computer that day. He signed his contract. I knew what was going to happen. His prices were going to spike. I immediately went and bought 2 PSA 10 chromes for like $375, $350. I don't remember. And by the end of the night, they were going for $480, and I sold both of them. I made like $100 on one and like $50 to $75 on another one. And I was in and out of them within 6 hours. So, you know, you could do stuff like that, or you could do I'm going to buy a bunch of football and then sit on it for 6 months and sell it before the season starts. Will you keep your raws that are hot until PSA, or would you sell what's hot or grades? I personally don't have a lot of raw stuff anymore. I've either sold most of it or I'm holding it because it won't grade. It would be like PSA 9s, maybe 8s even, like it's off-centered or whatever, like jaw base, Luca base, stuff like that. I'm just holding for right now. Everything else that I have, I sent in the star stock right before they added the ingestion fee. If it was something like 20 Prism, like Anthony Edwards, Halliburton, or whatever, maybe send a couple trial balloons to CSG or whatever. Most stuff I would probably just wait and see what PSA ends up doing. Best place to learn the investing side of comics as a sports card investor. Just a bunch of YouTube videos. I think this Sunday I'm going to do a Sunday spotlight on a comic book channel or two. But just same thing. Just do a bunch of research on YouTube. Just read. I would like hang out in their Facebook groups. Just read what people post. You know, just kind of get a feel for the market, just like you would if you were just starting out in sports cards. Who do you think will be the hot QB next year, like Herbert was last year? Whoever plays well. I mean, I honestly have no idea. I am big personally of the relatively undervalued guys that aren't in the league or that are in the league already. Jalen Hurts. I really like what I saw out of him. Anyone care for Magic cards? I played when I was a kid, but I play MTG Arena all the time, but I'm not invested in any. How much did you pay for your Lamar Donruss 10s? I think I paid like $150. I'll have to look. I can pull it up and look. If you had $1,500 right now, what cards are you buying and what are you steering clear of? I'm buying either football or Giannis. Do you think Zion is underpriced? He's playing out of his mind and is getting a lot better in year 2. Yes and no. The tricky part is do you think they can make the playoffs? If you think they can and actually do something in round 1, then he's underpriced. If you think he's not, then he's not underpriced. 4 Spider-Man PMGs getting graded. PMGs are nice and tough grades. Thoughts on investing in Olympic athletes? Simone, women's soccer, etc. I think it's a really good play. I don't know shit about that market, but I think it's 100% a good play. But I could not tell you for the life of me what cards to target. Bought 2 Ultimate Fallout 4s, 9.6, 9.4. Was the 9.4 a mistake, or is it still a good long-term hold? I'm personally not a fan of going down to even a 9.6. I think a 9.6 in Ultimate Fallout 4 of the modern stuff is fine, just because that book is so hot and I think it's going to be extremely important. The 9.4 is fine. I would have probably looked at like, could you have gotten a 9.6 of the second print or a 9.8 of the second print rather than a 9.4 of the first print? My all-time favorite comics, Uncanny X-Men 141 and 142. I agree. I love those 2 books. They're not my all-time favorites, but they're up there. I wish I would have bought them sooner, though. They were on my list, and I did not get to them, and they have gotten quite pricey. Two questions. I want to start on Star Stock with $500, focusing on NBA and NFL. Should I target Select or Optic in general to start? B, is there anything special with taxes on Star Stock? I don't believe there's anything special with taxes on Star Stock. Regarding buying on Star Stock, I would honestly stick to Prism as much as you can. Prism's more liquid on Star Stock, and you're not looking to hold it long term, so you don't care about the pop counts. Best time to sell Burrow cards, you think? August. Thoughts on 83 Star Wars number 68? It's been blowing up and has relatively low pop. Any of that Star Wars stuff is going to continue to keep going. They're not going to stop making Star Wars content, and they're going to keep drawing on their history for that content. Will you ever reveal that handsome face? The face has been revealed, Max. The face has been revealed. Not on this channel, but my face has been revealed. I was a guest on Sports Card Investors channel a few weeks, about a month or two ago now. And my face was right there. I have a handful of PSA Collector Club vouchers left that I could still submit them. Any place way to sell them? I don't think that you can sell those. Thoughts on high pop graded comic book keys? I don't think most comic book keys are high pop. That's my whole point in investing in the comic book market. Like, I don't think the comic book market thinks New Mutants 98 is a high pop count key at 3,500. I think that that's not that many. '94 Flair annuals and masterpieces, some X-Men boxes. Those are really good. You got to be careful on the Flair and the universe, though, or the Flair and the masterpieces that they don't brick. I would love to open a box of Flair, but I'm scared to death of it bricking. What's up, Sin City Rips? Is select football retail a rumor or is it confirmed? It is a very strong rumor, but to say it's confirmed is a little bit of a stretch, but it's as close to confirmed as it could be without actually being confirmed. This is no longer a hobby. Morons are strolling. All the Walmarts and Target retail. No one can afford to buy hobby boxes. What's left? Group bakes. Sports cards are soon to be dead. You might be right. You might be wrong. Who knows? I have a full version of Market Movers, Brandon. Light's fine, but I use a lot of the stuff that's in Pro. Specifically, collection tracking is a big one for me. Just bought a couple Saquon and Kyler premieres. Nice plays. I would sell them before the season started. What's a better buy? Baker Mayfield Prism 9, Donruss 10, or Select Concourse 10? Concourse 10 or the Prism 9. Not the Donruss 10. I would definitely go with the Concourse 10 over the Donruss. What about Odell? He's already seen a couple spikes already, so I feel like he's appropriately priced, especially coming off an ACL tear. What is the best Pwcc card for a future hold? Select field level or Prism Silver. What do you think of the proofed 1-of-1 cards by Beckett? Most people don't like those. The pre-production proofs. So I'm not real high on those as like long-term holds. Trae Young is a short-term flip. It all depends on what you think the Hawks can do in the playoffs. If you are high on the Hawks, then sure. If you don't believe in the Hawks, then I wouldn't. Thoughts on LeBron lower-end rookie cards? Are they good investments? Yes, LeBron is a very good buy right now. This is probably the lowest LeBron's going to be for a while, in my opinion. Yeah, PSA 9s in the Marvel market have been doing okay. You could like get your money back, but 10s get all the respect. Is it better to own numerous PSA 9s of, say, Mike Trout or LeBron rookies, or better to sell them for one PSA 10? In those types of plays, like Trout, LeBron, I assume you're looking to hold that forever. I would rather have the 10. The nice thing about the 9s and having multiples is it does give you a little bit of play if you ever want to sell one off and still have some. So maybe keep 1 9 and sell off enough to buy a 10. Any thoughts on your Masters winner? I am terrible at golf. Odell stuff, I would hold until right before the season starts. I did see the Rock sticker go for $24K. Captain America Beckett 9 went for $2,300. Yeah, I assume that's a PMG you guys are talking about. Does anyone ever grade 1-of-1 Marvel sketch cards? I have not seen one. Usually most people don't grade 1-of-1s. How do you feel about Marvel Ages? I flipped a couple hobby boxes and packs for good return. I'm not big on the modern Marvel stuff, to be honest. I do like to look at anime, the Marvel anime boxes. I wouldn't mind ripping one, but I don't think they're good investments. I have 50 plus cards getting graded. Blah, blah, blah. Time to sell Bryce Harper. I haven't checked the stuff, but you probably should have sold him about 3 weeks ago. Do you think LeBron Tribute Dunk Prism has more upside? This card looks to be an exception of the don't buy the hype rule. I would not buy that card right now. This is a Prism base card. There's going to be a bajillion of them. Just wait. Buy that card in the summer if you really want one. It's not like you're not going to be able to find it. Where is your Marvel PSA Express return at in grading? Still sitting there. It is still sitting in grading. It's probably got another month on it based off the complete through date tracker. Express complete through date is early February. Mine got checked in early March. And they haven't necessarily been advancing a day at a time. So I would say at least another month. It'll probably be next week. I have a PSA submission coming back to me. I have an economy order. It's all basketball cards coming back. I got hammered. I got absolutely hammered on this PSA sub. There's a PSA video preview of it on the channel. If you guys want to see what was in it, it probably posted in late August, I would have to guess. Actually, I'm sorry, July, give or take. I got brutalized. You'll see the video whenever they get here. Who are your favorite players in the 3 main sports of all time? LeBron in basketball, Manny Ramirez in baseball, and football. Probably, ugh. You got me stumped. I'd probably say like Kozar. It's weird because I'm going to pick a Brown, but there wasn't anyone for like 5 years and then they sucked for the next decade. So I'll go Kozar for football. It was like the first quarterback I remember watching. Yeah, they didn't think that the Zion injury was that big of a deal. The finger injury. Retail just shows up whenever. Like, there's no set release date for retail. It just kind of pops into Target one day. If you have $1,500 to drop on a graded comic to start off, what would you recommend? 361's not bad. You can also go with 316. You could go with Ultimate Fallout 4 second print. You could go with a 9.6 of Ultimate Fallout 4 first print. You could go with an Edge of the Spider-Verse if you want to stay more modern. You could get like a couple smaller things like an ASM 4 first Silk, like an Uncanny X-Men 282 first Bishop, and like an X-Men 4 first Omega Red. You could go with an X-Men 266 first Gambit. You have a billion different things you could choose from around that price range. Do you think 90 MU goes up or remains strong in PSA 10s through the summer while inventory remains fairly low with PSA shutdown? Most of the people that we're going to grade 90 Marvel MU already have it in pre-shutdown. So it's already sitting at PSA, to be honest. The pop count continues to go up on those by the day, but the PSA 10 population count isn't going crazy. All the cards graded since February 1st, I just ran the numbers on this. I forget exactly how many have been added, but only 26% of them have been PSA 10s. So it's still pretty tough to pull a PSA 10 for a 90 Marvel MU. And I think that's going to remain the same. With Eisner now involved with Topps going public, should we expect more Star Wars Disney cards from Topps. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if they leverage that. What's up, Robert? Just sent a 9.5 BGS 91 Black Panther, cracked it and sent it to PSA at the $300 price point. Comes back a 6 from PSA. Ouch. It's the risk of cracking, man. Got greedy and got burnt. Happens. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I mean, I don't want big boy cards. I don't want to use like the, hindsight 2020 thing. But a lot of people, when I mentioned selling Tatis, Soto, and Acuna before the season started in that one video, people were like, you're crazy. And this stuff happens all the time, man. I sold Tatis on Star Stock for $480 right after he signed the contract. And I bought a Tatis Chrome last week at the show for $350, or two something plus some trade. Unless it's something super rare, people act like once you sell a card, you can't buy it back. It was actually going to be tomorrow morning's video. I was going to do a video on just like knowing when the buy is easy, knowing when the sell is hard, and just kind of talking about that process. I just didn't have time to record it today, so I ended up doing something different. So maybe that'll be Friday morning's video. But people get so attached to this stuff, and it's like, guys, you could buy it back. Unless you're talking about like some Luka logo man 1 of 1 or something like a, Kobe exquisite auto or something crazy. Most of the time, like at least on this channel, we're talking mostly about like, $100 to $1,000 base cards and parallels, maybe more than that with some of the Luka stuff or whatever. But we're not talking about like, pop 5 stuff. Don't freak out about if you sell a Tatis Chrome at an all-time high right after he signed his contract for almost $500. Guess what? There's 7,000 of them on the pop report. Just rebuy it back later. Odds are that's the high point, regardless whether he got hurt or not. Say Tatis stays healthy. There is a decent chance that the day he signed his contract in March and like the 2 days after it are the highest point that card gets to until the offseason next year. There's like 100% legit chance, not 100%, but like a 90% chance that's the case, unless he just goes absolutely ballistic and they make a super big World Series run. Which could happen, but there's a lot of things that could go wrong in that. And if it happens, just wait till after the World Series and the price dips and buy it back again. Like, most of the stuff that we're talking about is not like super rare. As people get really hung up on, oh my God, you're crazy to sell that card. Why? I've made $100 to $150 on it in 3 days. Why wouldn't I sell it? And then I'll just buy it back if I want another one. Who cares? Even if I end up paying more for it later, whatever. I locked in the profit now. I'll figure it out later down the line. Follow-up question. If PSA raises prices when they come back online, what do we do with MU cards that don't sell higher than a 6 or 700 and a PSA 10 for grading? I just don't think we know until we see what PSA prices are, to be quite honest with you, Paul. For when it comes to Marvel cards, I am in a full hold mode until HGA takes Marvel cards. I am very curious of a Marvel card in an HGA custom slab. I am far from preaching from the HGA mountain upon high. I have a lot of questions about them, and I'm fairly skeptical of them. But in my mind, seeing some of their custom slabs comes out, I really like the idea of like a Spider-Man card with a badass custom flip at the top, in red, black, and blue with spider webs going across it or something, or a Captain America with the Star Spangled Banner flip that they did for Patrick Tillman's downtown card. There's a lot of appeal in that. So I'm waiting, but HGA submissions process and their ramp up process is a mess right now, so that's going to take a while. PSA might be back online before that becomes a reality, but right now they're not grading non-sports cards. So any decent small raw plays, $5 to $20 in the run up to the NBA playoffs, second year Prism or Select, newer silvers. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure if I put some thought into it, I could come up with a list, but off the top of my head, no one is like strictly jumping to mind, but I'm sure I'm probably missing someone obvious. I know defensive players are the riskiest in the hobby. Do you think Chase Young is an exception? No, I don't. I really don't. Go look at like what Myles Garrett stuff sells for, or like Jadeveon Clowney. Those guys can flame out fast, man. Is it just me, or a star stock age drop big time is the ratio to PSA 9s? I haven't played that close attention to it. I usually try to target PSA 9s on star stock over A's personally. Because my theory there is, the reason I like PSA 9s on star stock over A's, if I ever want to pull them out, I know what the 9 sells for. If I pull a star stock A and ship it home, I'm kind of screwed. Because I can't put star stock A in the eBay listings. No one's going to give a shit. The Prism #1 LeBron card is going to be iconic, just as 2008 Topps Kobe. That could be true, but the population count on the Prism versus the Topps Kobe is going to be astronomically different. Is PSA the only place grading Marvel cards? No, SGC will and BGS will. But PSA is the only one that you probably want to use. I like Peach Momoko and Scott Campbell variants as PC items. I don't like them as investments. I don't know that much about 66 Batman cards. Finally, catch one of your live streams, sent cards to PSA for the first time. It's been stuck in research and ID forever. It depends on what submission level you sent them on. But yeah, that's pretty normal. Like the whole Topps licensing thing. Here's the thing. I don't think the league's like doing multi-license deals. They would rather leverage as much money as possible out of one company than split the pie. So if anything else, it's just going to cause a bidding war between Topps and Panini. But I don't think both of them get it. I loaded up on D-Hop and Daniel Jones in January. Should I wait until August, or should I keep for longer? No, I would sell in the summer. Advice for a 12-year-old to collect. Start on Star Stock and learn it. Because you can make low dollar plays on there. You know, get whatever you got, $50, $25, throw it on the Star Stock and use it like trading penny stocks, and learn the market. Is it a good time to buy Mbappe Prism 10? I am the wrong guy to ask about soccer. No Biner and Mac's favorite Browns. I got to go with Kozar, man. Marvel Series 1 is so ugly. I completely disagree. I love Marvel Universe Series 1. What do you think of Overpower? I don't think it's a play at all. I would steer clear, personally. What's my biggest sports card flip ever? I don't know if this is my biggest one ever, but I sold my BGS 10 KPJ Ruby Wave. I bought it for $150 and sold it for $1,000. That took about a year. I held that for about 9 months. So not huge, but not nothing. I 7x'd it after eBay fees. I had really good luck on that's realized. Let me rephrase, realized profit that I've sold. I have things that I could sell that would be bigger flips. Like, I don't have the camera on right now. I guess I could turn it back on. This battery is probably charged. Let me see. Fire this on and see if this is charged up again. Whatever battery life. Yeah, full battery. Okay, cool. Let's slide this back over here. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. So when I say realized profit, that means I actually sold it. Like I have, this would probably be one of my bigger flips ever. I have a BGS 9.5 Giannis. It's not a true gem, but it has 210 subgrades. I bought this for $300. This is probably like an $1,800 card right now. So like if I sold this would take the cake, but I'm not planning on selling that at least in the next week or two. I would sell it maybe in a month or two. I think Giannis stuff's going to pop off soon, personally. Buy low, sell high. Ride the waves. That's... Yeah, crossovers are usually a bad idea. ASM 252 or Secret Wars 8? Both. I own both, personally. I would like 252 better, but it's a lot more expensive. Secret Wars 8 is like $800. 252 is like $2,300. You think the PSA shutdown will affect CGC comic book grading? No, I don't think they're related at all. Oh my God, I got caught up in chat, it looks like. Holy smokes. Any interest in someone like RJ Barrett ahead of the playoffs? Seems like he's a little overshadowed, but no, I am notoriously an RJ Barrett hater. I do not like RJ Barrett at all. Since baseball players can play until their 40s or late 30s, what age do you cut off on rookies? I'm not sure I understand that question. Who should we be buying right now? Football, and I think the time is I do think that it's the time to pull the trigger on modern basketball for players on teams that you think are going to make a playoff run. Now this gets tricky, but like Jazz, Nuggets, Sixers, Nets, LeBron, those types of teams. Those are the guys that you want to be buying modern NBA from. Maybe Luka, if you think Luka can make some noise in the playoff. I mean, I would always be looking at Luka, but I still think Luka is the best long-term hold of the young guys, and it's not even close. I do think Giannis is a buy right now on so I was going to do a separate video on this. I will mention it here. I personally think, so the last two Dallas card shows, every time a Dallas card show happens, there is a player that comes out of that show as the next hyped thing. The one at Christmas, or right after Christmas, was the GOATs, Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe. Their markets went nuts for a couple months and then pulled back down. The last one was KD. The one a month and a half ago was Kevin Durant, was the talk of the Dallas card show, and everyone was buying KD. I think the one in May is going to be Giannis. Maybe Luka, but I think it's going to be Giannis. I'm reading the tea leaves on that one a little bit. If you follow a lot of stuff closely, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm really in the weeds on this one, and maybe I'm stretching. But I think Giannis is going to be the name to come out of the Dallas card show in May. Could be wrong, but I think that's going to happen. Giannis catches a lot of hate for not being able to close in the playoffs. Do you generally avoid bigs/centers? Yes, but I would make an exception for Joker and Embiid. Thoughts on Rui? I don't think he's very good. You need to include the Bucks on that list, big boy. Is Mahomes rookie cards a good buy right now? I think Mahomes rookie cards are always a good buy. Unless you're buying like the day of the Super Bowl. Boy, risking it on guys and playing games are really risky. Anything can happen in a 1-game sample size. I would not send Marvel cards to SGC. They're just not going to sell. It's going to take you forever to sell them, and you're going to have to eat it and take a huge hit on what it could sell for in a PSA slab. And in SGC, the death blow of SGC is the SGC 9.5. Because that's the problem. If you pull an SGC 9 or an SGC 9.5 on a Marvel card, you're going to have a hell of a time selling it for any sort of profit at all. You have to pull a 10. And then even if you pull the 10, you're still going to have to take at least a 40 to 50% hit over what a PSA 10 would sell for. What's your thoughts on flippers buying $20 hanger boxes of 21 Prism and selling it for $200 or more? Early release hype. I have no problems with people making money however they want to make money. Last you heard, is the Nationals still good to go, or is it at risk this year? There is definitely some risk from what I am hearing. Mr. Devoy, you were on the same page as me. That's why I'm thinking he's going to be the one to come out of Dallas, strictly because of what you just said. Plus, it makes sense. He hasn't been talked about. His prices haven't spiked. His prices have been fairly flat. It's going to be right before the NBA playoffs start, and the Bucks are going to be a top 3 seed. I'm just putting the puzzle pieces together. Joker stuff is probably too cheap. Still high on Ja? Yes. Still like Ja. Maybe this will make sense. Are 25 to 28-year-old baseball rookies worth investing in? Okay, now I get your question. Meh. I'm going to say not really. Flipping, sure. Investing, different story. So Kyler Purnas spiked at the beginning of last season, but his Select didn't. Do you think Select is still a better buy than Prism, though, because of the pop count? If you're flipping, Prism is perfectly fine. And the whole Select Prism argument does change when it comes to the NFL, because Prism population counts are a lot lower than basketball Prism. So it's not apples to apples, but I think by the time we get the football season, Select is going to get more love. That being said, if you're just buying to flip, buying Prism is perfectly fine. But I do think Select has some just general room to grow in it. What football or and basketball players are you the biggest on right now? Luka and Baker, probably. Would you sell a GMA Gem Mint 10 high-end Kobe card or take it out? If it looks good, I'd crack it and send it to PSA. Odds are the reason it's in a GMA slab is because it's not going to grade well with PSA. Is it a good time to invest in Tom Brady cards? If so, which cards? I haven't looked at his prices recently. Someone like Brady, like those guys, there's never really, unless the prices are spiking right now, which I don't think they are for Brady. I mean, they are on his like contenders rookie ticket and stuff, but I would just look at what his price graph has looked like lately. And as long as you're not buying on like some major upswing spike, it's fine. Invest in Hobbs from the Knights. Do you know what the heck is up with Dibs? I'm on it and it seems to make I am on Dibs and it makes 0 sense to me as well at the moment. I like the idea of it, but I just haven't had time to wrap my head around it. But to be fair, I haven't really tried to wrap my head around it either, to be perfectly honest. My biggest fear was Zion is healthy and actually getting on a winning team. What would you send to CSG until PSA opens back up? Mid-level stuff, I wouldn't have a problem sending there. What do you think Trae Young will receive a big bump right before the playoffs? It depends on what seed they are. If they could stay out of the play-in, then sure. But it also depends on who they get matched up with in the first round. I haven't looked at the standings recently, but there's a decent chance those lower East seed teams are going to get waxed. The top of the East is really good. Like the Nets, the Sixers, and the Bucks are legit good, and they're going to crush the Eastern Conference. So most of those teams I don't think are going to win a round. Like the bottom half of the East. Is SGC 95 Tupperware for a PSA 10? That's one of the best comments I've seen. That's really good. Sure. Prior to the price changes, yes. In the existing grading world, it's a little trickier. I agree on the CSG slabs, but everyone keeps telling me that CSG slabs look good in person. I have not seen one in person yet. Why doesn't StarStock make an app? I think they probably will at some point in time. I think they're so backlogged right now with just trying to get cards in and out of the building. Thoughts on holding Rui? I would sell as soon as he spikes again. At this point, you're probably best to hold him to the beginning of next season, to be honest. Unless his prices are up. I haven't looked at Rui prices for a while. I'm not a big fan of Rui. He's whatever. Under the radar NBA players who might break out during the playoffs. I'd have to think about that one. That'll probably actually be a video pretty soon, which reminds me I need to check something really quick here. 1 second, guys. Okay, I was just peeping something real quick. SGC is under $40 with group subs. They redid their group sub pricing after they got a bunch of backlash. You could sub with SGC for like $35 to $37 a card. Do you think Prism and Mosaic variation PSA 10s are good investments? I think Prism variations are fantastic. As long as you're into the player long term. Those pop counts are ridiculously low on variations. Personally, I don't think Dibs has figured it out yet either. The Dibs pricing stuff is all over the place. Do you have any interest in running backs ahead of the football season? And they're not as sexy as quarterbacks, but someone like Chubb, Dalvin Cook, etc. Safe as a long-term resale part. There is no chance in hell I'm carrying a running back in the season. See Saquon Barkley last year. And Chubb. Chubb got hurt last year too. I'm fine buying him now to sell before the season starts, but there is zero chance I am carrying a running back in the season. That is a freaking death blow. Stolen material, by the way. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know if you're referencing something else or what. Thank you, man. That's a good comment, Big Boy Cards. I have very little interest in soccer stuff. Ja or Zion for long-term hold. I am still on the Ja bandwagon. Do you know if StarStock will have a way for you to keep track of your cards we've sent in the PSA through their site? As of right now, they don't. I keep track on a spreadsheet. SGC slabs are not scratch resistant. Half mine were messed up. I mean, they should all. You should be putting them in whatever the graded card bag thingamajiggers. The perfect fits. Big Boy crushing it with the comments. Yeah, Brad. Kaboom. I would, once again, I don't think there's any reason to sell it right now. I think it only goes up between now and the start of the season. I'm going to keep harping on this. Like I said, I might be wrong on this one. I'm going to go down with this ship. But I just don't see how it doesn't work out. Did you watch the interview with the Pwcc CEO? I did not. I don't do anything with Pwcc. Do you think draft Prism rookies are worth holding or better off flipping? If you still have draft Prism rookies, you've made a mistake. Draft tanks in value as soon as real cards come out, and real cards are out now. I don't know what you mean by make suggestions for PSA apps. I don't even use the PSA app. Yeah, that's what everyone keeps telling me, Alex. And it's a low bar to clear, saying they look better than SGC slabs. Like SGC slabs, some things do look quote unquote good in them, but they feel so cheap. Let me hold on one second. Let me go into my firebox here. Un momento. For me, what am I looking for? What am I looking for? It's not in there. Why is it not in that pile? So, like, I'll use this as an example. Whoops. Like, I get it. To me, the Luka Optic looks amazing in the SGC slab, but I don't like the feel of the SGC slab in hand. It feels cheap and chintzy. But like, if you're just saying which one presents better, yeah, I'm going to say that the Luka looks better in that. But to be fair, Prism, in my opinion, where's my Prism? Prism base looks like shit in an SGC slab, in my opinion. That looks meh at best to me. So it just depends on the card. Thoughts on Pwcc? I mean, if you got something big to sell, I don't think it's a bad idea going with them. Well. What's up, Justin? Sorry, I fell behind on chat a little bit. May have missed a couple of questions. SGC slab and the paper label on top is half out and crooked. You could usually tap that back into place by like gently tapping the card on the side. I don't like, a lot of people have talked about this on the SGC slabs. I don't like the way, oh wow, you can really zoom in good on this card with this camera. New camera doing work. I don't like the way that those sit in there with those jagged corners. See that jagged corner at the top right there on the black plastic? Like, you have to, like, that has to damage the card at some point in time, I think. Like, look at that thing. Looks like I go spearfishing with that. See what I'm talking about right here? Right there. Looks like a little hook. And this has been talked about before. I'm not like breaking new ground here. But yeah, like, I don't like the idea of the card banging up against that. I already missed a boat on the Marvel Presents 72. I don't like those metal frame cards. I still think Prism in football is still going to be king. If you're just buying the flip, going with Prism is perfectly fine. Anything over a few $1,000s for Pwcc. Some of it's just the ease of mind of not selling a big, like selling an expensive card, like anything over a couple $1,000 is fucking stressful. I would almost take a little bit less just to be able to like walk into like Ryan's shop at Card Collector 2 and just be like, hey, 80% eBay comps, 70% eBay comps, to not have to worry about, a return or whatever, shipping it, etc. Oh man, that Otani injury was scary as all hell. I'm not going to lie. So I actually shipped it home. It's not here yet. I'm hoping it gets here by Friday. I don't think it's going to. I bought an Otani pink refractor on Star Stock. They were like $200 under current market value because the price hadn't jumped on it yet. So I bought a PSA 10 pink refractor, Topps Chrome Otani. They're like $500. I got it for $300 and I shipped it home, testing out their new Fast Pass ship home. I put the request in on Monday. I got shipping notice on Tuesday, and today's Wednesday. It's already on its way to me. So according to tracking, it'll be here on Monday, but there's a card show on Saturday that I would absolutely love to try to flip that thing. But I don't think it's going to be here in time. Everyone's buying football right now. Wouldn't that mean it's the time to sell? No, I think stuff continues to go up. I mean, I think you can sell earlier, sure, but I would probably hold till at least the 4th of July, in my opinion. I don't care about the way most cards look in slabs because I'm not holding most cards for longer than I can sell it for a decent profit. I mean, I have some BGS stuff. My biggest card is probably that Giannis base rookie. That's in a BGS slab. And I have a Luka True Gem base Prism in a BGS slab. They're fine. I don't think they look like magic or anything. BGS, pay more, sell for less. Take longer to get it back to you. Great company. I'm sure CSG's flooded already. What do I think about Batman stuff? In general, I'm just not as big on DC stuff as I am Marvel. I was watching select rip videos today, and I'm kind of sad that I don't have a select box to rip. I know ripping's bad, but I do like select. I don't know if Card Collector 2 is the best in the business, but he's definitely extremely smart, and I like him. He makes good content. He runs a nice shop. I've been in there a couple times. I haven't had a chance to like really talk to him other than like a casual, like quick conversation while checking out. The last time I was in there, he was there, and it was a Saturday, and they were absolutely slammed. Who do you think is a good hold? Luka? Of modern players. I assume you're speaking like last few years. Luka's number one. BGS isn't trash, but they just need to figure their shit out. Sure, I mean, you can never go wrong with Brady and Mahomes. That's kind of, to me, that's kind of obvious. I agree with what Big Boy Card said. I think Donovan Mitchell's a pretty good play for a playoff run. I think Sasha T is probably the best YouTuber in the sports card market, and I don't think it's actually close. Like, it's not even remotely close. Part of that is his personality, his production level, and also the level of cards that he is dealing with. No, I am not excited for the new Mortal Kombat movie. No, I'm not getting a Scottish Hammer card. Due to the grading price increase, presumably many more high-quality potential PSA 10s are being sold raw, correct? I don't know that we know that. I think a lot of people are in wait-and-see mode. Sure, there's probably some slipping out, but most people are still going to grade. They're just going to send it somewhere else if they're that itchy to grade, or they're going to hold it for PSA. What do you think of Drew Lock? Cards to go for early in the season. Now they're like $80. He's fine. Don't forget, when you're comparing prices to last August, I don't want to say you need to take them completely with a grain of salt, but be careful with that. That's when the entire sports card market was at its all-time highest across the board. Baseball, football, basketball. That was at the peak of its powers. Be very, very careful comparing to what card prices were in August. Is football going to go up in July and August? Yes. Is it going to reach last year's levels? I'm skeptical on that. Do you ever see yourself moving back to 90s or early 2000s cards? Not really. Elite 3 is really good too, but Elite 3 is mostly doing, PSA reveals and like sales recaps and stuff, which is great. I love Elite Co's channel. I've been watching his channel for over 2 years now, if not longer. And I love his just no nonsense, clean attitude. He watches the channel. He's commented on videos before. I haven't like talked to Alico, but we've exchanged YouTube comments on videos. So what's up, Alico, if you're watching? He puts out great content too. Sasha just has it figured out. He's checkmarking all the boxes. And I think Sasha is not going to move the market on a Gary V level, but I think Sasha has the power to move the market for sure. Like, I think Sasha single-handedly caused the KD craze at Dallas. I mean, maybe not single-handedly. I might be giving him too much credit, but Sasha knows what he's doing. Multiple select tricolor MPJ, sell all or hold one or two. I mean, depends on what you're into it for. I would do maybe like a sell down strategy. And sell maybe one now to protect yourself and then hold the rest. MPJ, I like for a deep playoff run, so I wouldn't be like running to bail out on him. Locke is a fine spec play at his low cost of entry, but to expect him to get back to $400, I think, is a stretch. Yeah, if you can get into him cheap, it doesn't take much for it to go up and for you to make 20, 30, 40%. Serial numbered cards that are not rookies, I don't necessarily view those as a quote unquote investment unless you're talking about like all-time greats like LeBron or Jordan or Kobe. But I'm not like going out to chase some Trae Young third year select numbered card. Joker's too cheap, in my opinion. How do I feel about camping out to retail? You'll never see me doing it. I'm not going to hate on someone if that's what they want to spend their time, though. I'm not going to get all mad and go on a Facebook page and get pissy because people are camping out for cards. Like, they're not hurting me. It's not my time. If that's what they want to do, that's what they can do. Like, whatever. I got better things to do with my time than either A, go camp for cards, or B, freak out in a Facebook group about people camping out for cards. Which Luka cards should I buy? All of them. No. I would look at Luka Select or Optic Color or Prism Color. I would try to steer clear of Prism base. If you're going to go base cards, look at Optic or Select. I worry about that Luka pop count on his PSA 10. Yeah, OBJ is there on the top. Topps Chrome, PSA 10. I'm going to look to sell this at the start of the season, most likely. And I have a pile of raw OBJ sitting right over here. I got an X-Fractor raw and a bunch of Prism base. Really like the look of this Prism base card for Beckham's rookie. Really nice looking card. So, but I will look to move all these in the coming months. Once again, before the season starts. What do I think is better, Kaboom or Galactic? I think Kaboom because it gets way more love than Galactic does. BCW or Ultra Pro? I have Ultra Pro. When it comes to card savers, if you're talking card savers, cardboard gold all the way. If you're talking supplies, at this point, it's literally whatever the hell I could get my hands on at a reasonable price. Best short-term flip before football season. Any quarterback. The whole people crying about retail thing is just people that are mad that they can't get retail. I get it. The retail process is an absolute dumpster fire. But like screaming about it on Facebook isn't going to fix it. I mean, Target is trying doing the Friday thing and all that, but it still causes unintended consequences that doesn't really fix the problem. And I don't know what fixes the problem. I like all those guys you just listed, KY Drummer. I have no problems with any of the three. I try to stay well stocked on. I treat hobbies. So this is a running joke. My family has a rule that if you walk into a sporting goods store, you have to buy a box of ammo just because. You just always need to be buying ammo, whatever it is. That was a smart play, especially giving ammo prices. I also follow that rule, but I also treat sports card supplies the same way. Every time I walk into a shop or anytime I'm in the area of a shop I haven't checked out, I'll just stop in and get some penny sleeves. One, it allows me to check out the shop. It allows me to buy something that is extremely cheap, a couple bucks, walk in, grab a couple packs of top loaders and penny sleeves. Whether I need them or not, I don't care. So I have a nice little stash right now. Thank God, because that stuff's expensive and hard to find. But anytime I walk into a shop, I just automatically buy a pack of penny sleeves and a pack of top loaders. Hey, Neo, you're awesome. Is Katie Topps Black 112 paper PSA 9 a good buy or still undervalued? I don't know that I would buy KD right now. KD stuff's you're kind of buying at a peak. Who are some modern NBA guys you're eyeing to pick up in the offseason? I'm not sure yet. I'm just not in that mode yet. But you could be sure there'll be a video or multiple videos on that. I have a couple of guys in the back of my head, but I needed to put more thought into it. I'm just not there at the moment. No problem, Paul. I try to get to as many questions as I possibly can. I usually try to hit on all of them. Sometimes I miss them in the slew of chat or if I lose my spot. I got some PSA 10 color variations numbered of OBJ. Always been a fan. I think he gets much hate, but I love Odell Beckham. I loved him before the Browns had him too. My famous Odell Beckham story is back when he was a Giant earlier in his career. I had him in a Monday Night Football DFS game. Maybe it was Monday night. Maybe it was Sunday Night Football. I don't remember. And I needed him to go crazy to win like $8,000 on a site that doesn't even exist anymore. And I was like, if he pulls this off, I will buy his jersey. And he went nuts that night. Won me like, I don't know, $8,000 or $9,000 in DFS. And I went on Fanatics and bought the jersey before as soon as the game ended. Well, camera battery died again. I got to get that figured out. How's the fantasy team doing? I don't know. I am not planning on doing like regular updates. I was doing okay. I was struggling a little bit in some categories, but it's way too soon to say. Thoughts on Optic black and white variations? There's other things I'd rather have if I'm going to chase Optic variations. I got a mellow Prism auto redemption. Honestly, I would try to sell the redemption. Be careful selling it on eBay, though. I don't know if you could get scammed on that easy enough. I would try to sell that in person. Take it to a show or something. Yeah, just Panini's such a mess with redemptions. It sucks. The sports cardology, because the star stock market has gotten smarter. In the past, that used to work. But now it has to be someone that has some buzz about him, like a KPJ. KPJ is buzzy to begin with, so when he has a big game, it matters. When Goga has a big game, no one really cares. If I could get BCCG 10s for dirt cheap, and the card looks like a sneaky buys grading scale. I mean, sure, if it's a legit card, but I would, if you're buying that card, assume it's a PSA 9 at best. Do you think Deandre Ayton will get a big bump right before the playoffs because the Suns will be the 2 seed? A big bump? No. He just hasn't been putting up numbers. Could he see a bump? Sure. Who would you like to see in the NBA Finals? The Bucks and the Nuggets. If you had a 5K card to sell, would you pick PWCC or try to get it on Golden? PWCC. I don't think Golden's... I think a 5K card in Golden gets buried, to be honest with you. A 5K card on Golden is not that big of a card. I would take color match over other parallels any day of the week. Color match will always hold a lot of extra value. Go look at like 2017 Tatum Green Prism compared to like his other stuff. It sells for astronomically more. I don't really follow the wrestling card market that great. We talked about that earlier. Yeah, I really debated when I pulled the Morant redemption. I really debated selling the redemption ticket, but I really like Ja. I don't have a Ja auto, so I kind of felt like it was fate. And also Ja signed an exclusive deal right before I pulled that with Panini, like as a major endorser. So my thought process is that if anyone's going to be signing, it would be him. And I have seen on their report that his Contenders Optic stuff has been going out the last couple weeks, and that came out right before Hoops Premium. So I'm hoping maybe I actually see that card sometime in the next 8 years. Do you ever see first year Optic cards going up in value? Not really. Other than Prism, I'm not big on the whole first year set stuff. And Prism gets a lot of extra love from the whole first year stuff because that was a double rookie class on top of it. Will you submit your PC to BGS? No. Black Velocity does reigns of Black Velocity are slick looking cards. Absolutely slick looking cards. Holy hell, I got caught up on chat for the most part. Baker Mayfield's going to be my default answer for that one. The $500 or under. If you want basketball, maybe like MPJ stuff for a playoff run. eBay searches have been screwed up for a week. Could last year Fleer cards like PMG be a play? They could. They absolutely could. Late to the party, are you still buying comics / grading your comic book cards? Yes, I am still buying comics. I haven't bought anything in the last couple weeks. The last thing I bought was an Ultimate Fallout 4 second print and an X-Men 282. And regarding comic cards, I have not sent anything in since the initial batches, but I have 3 orders at PSA with comic cards in them. I'm not sending anything else out due to the prices of grading changing all around until that sorts itself out. So it's kind of wait and see mode for that. .130 was working a little bit ago when I was on it, unless it went back down again, but it had been down for days. I was on .130 about 2 hours ago and it was up, at least for what I was looking at. If you have $300, Panini PSA 9 Giannis or Concourse Select PSA 9. Assuming you're talking both rookies, I would probably go with the Giannis because I think you'll be able to flip it easier and faster because he has a better chance at making a deep playoff run. What's a better buy, Lamar or Russell? Are you looking to flip before the season starts or hold long like forever? If it's flip, probably the Lamar. Will do, Justin. I just got to wait for them to come back. It's probably going to be at least a month. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Under $30. You mean under 30 years old or under $30? You have one player to flip during the MLB season. Who's your player? Wander Franco, I guess. But I would honestly say you probably should have flipped before the season started. Sure. Of course, Sam Darnold stuff already like tripled overnight from the trade. I'd be selling right now. Giannis is still relatively in a dip, yes. There is a source code trick, but it's a pain in the ass. I will take this friendly reminder to say, smash that like button. And also, I did turn the channel membership thing on. Once again, I'm not going to make a big deal out of this, but I will mention it every once in a while. So if you want to support the channel, you can become a member. As of right now, you get access to these fun emojis that you could post in chat. We have the Eye of Sauron and the Rated Rookie logo with more coming soon. Just not sure what else yet. So that's your 30-second channel plug. I think Morant's got really yo-yoed this year. He came out like a bat out of hell, immediately got hurt with his ankle, then came back, and then immediately got shut down for 2 weeks with COVID crap. And that team has just not been able to get on track. But I still like that team as a long-term play. Did you ever successfully get your Top Shot cash out? Yes, kind of. I finally got withdrawal access on Friday. I submitted to pull out $1,500 of my $2,000. I got an email confirmation today saying the transaction was approved. So now I have to wait for it to process all the bank crap. So I still don't know when I will actually get access to the money. Channel memberships, there's 3 levels: $5 a month, $10 a month, and $20 a month. I'm going to be straight up front with you. You don't get anything special, and I don't gate any content. So it's not like you're going to get my hot picks from my videos 3 hours before everybody else. I hate that crap, so I will not be doing that. It's just simply a way to support the channel if you so choose. I had some people, multiple people reach out to me and say, hey, love what you're doing. Do you have a Patreon or anything like that? And I didn't feel like setting up anything else special. So I set up channel memberships for anyone that wants to go an extra mile and support the content. It is nothing that you have to do. The only thing that you will get out of it is some fun channel emojis, at least for the foreseeable future. But I could nearly 100% guarantee that I will never do like, you get access to the video 3 hours before everybody else, or I'll give you my hot buys and all that crap. That is not my style. Are you in Top Shot for the long run? Hell no. Yeah, I think from the time of request to getting the money is not bad. It's getting to the point that you can request it. That part took me almost 3 months. Do new label PSA holders really give a premium when selling? A premium, I think, is too strong of a word, but people do put some value on the newer labels. Baker or Josh Allen long term? Can I say neither? I just don't like most football as long term. What's the lowest grade you'd go for in a silver aged comic? It depends on the book and it depends on the dispersion of grades. Like, it depends on the census report. What's my most recent buy? Fernando Tatis PSA 10 Topps Chrome. This is the last thing that I bought. I guess that's not true. I bought an Ohtani. If you want to count star stock, I bought an Ohtani PSA 10 pink refractor to flip. I've heard someone on your live stream last time, so I've been buying up some magazine covers in good shape. Sports Illustrated, wish me luck. Yeah, I just don't know like how those grade, but I have to imagine like a CGC 9.8, like LeBron King James Chosen One, stuff like that would sell for well. Uh, 100% agree, Michael. If you're paying for picks, you're doing it wrong. I thought about doing a video on that, but I didn't want to like throw that much shade on the entire world. But yeah, don't pay. If anyone in this chat is paying for picks, please stop. It's like the most pyramid scheme. I don't know if pyramid scheme is the right word, but it's definitely some sort of scheme. I have not used my slabs to sell on, but I have bought on my slabs. It's 100% legit. I wish their search function was a little bit better. It's a little clunky. I think Jordan will be slow and steady for a while until something causes him to spike. If Watson Prism goes below 500, is it a buy? No. Personally, no. There's way better things I would rather spend my money on that I think I could move faster. If it got lower, sure. Pyramid scheme implies that like you can't get your money back out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because the people following the plays, I guess, are technically making a profit if they ride the wave correctly. But I don't know what the right term is for it. A lot of people do it. It's not at all my style. I try in general to avoid giving like specific buys. Like, I don't do a lot of videos like that. Don't get me wrong. There's some on the channel where I've definitely done like these 5 guys are undervalued or whatever, but I try to steer clear of specifics as much as I can. But I definitely do that on occasion, but not that often. And I usually try to always back. If I make any claim like this guy's too cheap, I always show the work. If that makes sense. Like, I always have the data on the screen and talk about the data backing up why I think it's a good play versus just sitting down and reading off a list of 10 names. That's why my videos are 20 minutes long, because I show the work, to steal a elementary school phrase. I agree, big boy cards. I think documentary stuff is overhyped. At this point, I think you have to go select over Optic. At least, well, football's a little different, but in basketball, I would definitely be going select over Optic. Yeah, and then like what Michael's saying, the thing is then it's tiered. So like the people paying for early access get first crack. They buy it, causing the prices to go up. Then the general public gets it and they see it's already on the way up and they're like, oh man, this is great. These guys are so smart. And then they buy it, causing it to go up more. Meanwhile, they're probably buying it off of the person that originally made the post. I do think LeBron autos are extremely underrated in the market right now. Thoughts on Dibs? I have yet to figure out Dibs. I am on Dibs. I do not understand Dibs. Luka Blue Studio rookie numbered to 99 with paying $300 to $500 for grading. I would go with a more, I don't know what Luka Studio, what is that? Those are good. Depending on when you bought, big boy, those are all good names to have. Trevor Lawrence hype is going to be out of control. Patrick Mahomes wasn't that hyped going into the season. Keep that in mind. He was like the 12th pick. Top Shot is like a hot potato. I agree, but the entire collectibles industry is a hot potato. Like regular sports cards are a hot potato. Send cheap cards to CSG or wait for PSA out. I would send the CSG, but you better be paying for subgrades. If you're sending the CSG and not getting subgrades, you're not doing it right. Do you think Luka rookie base PSA 10 goes below 1,000? It could if they get like swept in the first round of the playoffs. I've only watched a couple rips. I haven't sat down and watched a bunch. Oh, Studios and Chronicles. I get lost on the Chronicles stuff. There's other things I would rather have. I like some Chronicles Lucas stuff, but I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like LeBron autos are cheap, but I think in the grand scheme of things, they are undervalued compared to what they sell at. Not like I can go afford one. What's up, Breaks? I thought that said you're a Lego man when I read that quickly. You caught it towards the end because I'm probably going to be wrapping up soon. I've been going for almost 2 hours, actually. Top Shot is the hottest of all the hot potatoes. I am not big on Lonzo Ball. Though I like Jeff Wilson and enjoy his content, I do not follow him on his Lonzo Ball love. If you like Tua, you should be buying. The current rookie class, I think you're better to wait to end the season to buy. KY Drummer Guy, if you want to really move that Luka Revolution PSA 10, maybe slide into my DMs. I've had that on my radar. In fact, I probably am on your watch list. That Luka for $5.99 is legit probably on my watch list. My general answer for all football questions is everything's basically a hold until the 4th of July. Unless you need the money to buy something else. Like, let me caveat that. If you could sell something in football right now for a profit and take that money and buy something else, then do it. But if you're just going to take the money and piddle around with it, then just keep holding it. Sorry. I sold the PSA 10 Torres already. Who is the power broker? I don't know. As low-end spec play, sure. When it comes to Garoppolo or Minshew. Instagram's the best place. NEO_sportscards. I'm not 100% sure I'd make a play on it, but I've had my eye on a Luka Revolution PSA 10. My look at any one of my videos. My Instagram info is on the description of any one of my videos. And by the way, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, what the hell are you doing? I don't really know how to work Instagram. I post occasionally, but like I hardly have any Instagram followers. Bunch of slackers. Justin with the hot takes. Hold. What would I do with Marvel cards right now? Hold. That you need to grade. If they're already graded, sell them. But if you need to grade, I think we're in hold pattern till PSA figures it out, or till HGA takes them, or CGC takes them. Like, the Jags are bad, but I don't think they're like dumpster fire bad. Like, there's some talent on that team. Like, the Jags have like legit wide receivers. I'm gonna go Ripken because I hate the Yankees. Most undervalued sport, baseball, NBA just went crazy over the last 3 years. Baseball is just a weird market. Thoughts on Steph upper deck rookie? I mean, Steph's always a decent play. Just don't buy it at a wave up. I haven't looked at Jaren Jackson Jr. cards in a while. I don't know if they're still going up or not. I like the Matrix. First Matrix is solid. I don't know on the Lawrence question. Everyone seems to think so, but usually the numbers say that that's not always the case. All right, ladies and gents, I think we're going to wrap here pretty quick. Someone asked the same Jeter Ripken question on my Monday live stream. Told them Ripken, damn it. Hey, what's up, Flipping Steve? I didn't see you sneak in here. Daniel Jones, goodbye. You're a little late to the party. I think it was a better buy before they signed Golladay. Damn straight I did. Yeah, JJJ was also due back at the end of January, and how'd that work out for people? I remember I made a video before the season starting and said I didn't like JJJ because of the injury risk, and people were like, oh no, he's going to be back in a month. Whoops. Why do PSA 10s go for so much more than 9s? A lot of the times you can't tell the difference because 10 is more than 9. I am not big on Paul George. Good one, big boy. All right, ladies and gents, smash the like button on the way out the door. Tomorrow morning's video is going to be a little channel update. Nothing too earth-shattering. Just some plans I have regarding new equipment and stuff like that and what I plan on doing with it. You guys got a little peek at it with the new camera and stuff and gimbal life and all that. I don't know what Friday's video is going to be yet. I'm not sure if I'll have one on Saturday. I will be. There's a card show Saturday I am planning on going to. I'm going to swing by the Hartville show, I think, Hartville, Ohio, and check out, see what's going on, and put the new camera to the test. So you might see footage from that. I don't know. It depends on how it goes. So I hope so. I just got to figure out how to work the damn thing. So smash the like button on the way out the door, all the YouTube nonsense, share with a friend, subscribe if you haven't, all that stuff. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Peace.